another episode of Link On, your number one show on the internet with Link Japan Careers. I'm Brian,
No, I'm Rhys.
and make sure you go by our site at linkjapancareers.net and sign up for jobs.
Lots of
And
exciting jobs and
exciting
articles.
jobs. Today we're going to bring you jobs, and let's get to the jobs.
Give the people jobs.
All
Yes.
right, let's navigate to our site at linkjapancareers.net. Here we go. And when you're there, you go up to find jobs, and that's what you got.
So, what's the first job we've got available, Brian?
Wait a second here. I'm trying to get the jobs video or the jobs in view.
I like how with these tools, it's like it's building suspense.
Yeah,
We're building suspense here.
um,
Or
just a moment here. I'm having some problems with the getting the web page.
hmm.
So let's go again. All right, here we go. Let's bring this over. So our first job that's there is after school English teacher Yokohama.
All right, groovy. And this position, what can I share with you guys about this position? This position is one of the very few positions we have left in the Kanto area for teaching. So,
Yeah.
as you guys know, living in Japan, the teaching season's usually most of the recruiting is done by April. So this is one of the last spots left. So if you still want to teach and you want to be in Yokohama, and you want to teach before September, this is probably going to be the position you want to apply for. Decent salary. It's fairly average, but it's very central location, Albadai. Very easy to get to from Yokohama Station. Yeah, great little gig if that's what you want to do. What are the next jobs? What else have we
Next
got there?
job we have up is preschool manager here in
Oh yeah,
Japanese.
right.
Listen to Japanese.
Yeah, so this was originally a position that's for a Japanese person, and I mean, where we think it might be good for you guys is if you were, say, a permanent resident or maybe a spouse or child of a Japanese national or even a returnee. This is a great time, I think, to apply for this sort of position. Obviously, the Japanese skill is quite important, but you would be the manager of this franchise school. And actually, this franchise itself is a very, very big business in Japan. This client, they're very well known in Juku's more than English schools, but they're well known in both. So very exciting position if that's what you want. Yeah, please apply.
And next one is English teacher part time in Ibaraki, which is in Iwase and Kasama.
Yeah, so this position, I mean, it is an English Eikaiwa position, but it's very much built around the community. You would be teaching all age groups. It is part-time, so you're actually going to be working in 4-hour shifts. And one of the cool things about this position is it's open to everyone. So, you might see some of those Eikaiwas that kind of want you to be a native level speaker of English. This is not like that at all. This is if you're passionate and you enjoy speaking English and you have a decent amount of fluency, then they want to hear from you. Some of the other benefits include they've got a company car that you can actually borrow for private use as well as going to work. And there's also a gas allowance subsidy for that position as well. So pretty cool. Good little side hustle. It's mostly in the afternoons and evenings. So there might be a case if you're an ALT in the area and you're looking for another side gig, this could be a really good one. And yeah, worth applying for sure. It's not going to be high stress.
Next is
Very, very.
after school English teacher in Sendai.
Yep. So that's like the same franchise as the Albadai one. So I don't think we need to touch on it too much.
Right?
But if you're in Sendai,
Yeah,
it's there as
Sendai's
well.
great. Love Sendai.
Sure, sure.
Interact positions. So
Now for fall,
they're
right?
they're for fall now, right? So if you want to start in late August, September, right? We do have a handful of positions left open for immediate, but they're going to be in more remote places and probably require driving. But if you're a driver and you don't mind living in a rural area, then we have a position for you. So please make an application. So we have the fall applications up. Make an application now. Reserve your space. Okay, Kansai as well. Kanto North area. Interact North. No better time to go to Sapporo than in summer.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yep. After school English teacher Utsunomiya. It's the same
franchise, but in Utsunomiya. Yeah, if you want to be in Tochigi.
Utsunomiya, get some gyoza.
Wow.
Teaching material development faculty leader. This is a business school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to have an MBA.
Basically, guys, it's starting salary from 5 million. And you need to have N2 Japanese and be a native English speaker. But as Brian indicated, probably the harder qualification here is you need to have an MBA. Because it is a business school, it's equally academic and corporately driven. So that's kind of a non-negotiable part. But if you do have an MBA, well, hey, here's the 5 million yen gig that you can apply for in Tokyo. They also have up to 200,000 yen subsidy available for you to do self-study, which is a nice little perk. And yeah.
Well, you get a lot of like subscriptions and books and stuff for that to keep up on your skills.
You would.
Head teacher in 23 Ward, Shinjuku, Shimagusa, Kitasuna, Kasai. This has been up a while.
Yeah, but we're still looking for a head teacher. We have introduced a couple of people, but the race is not yet run. So if you want to be a head teacher, please apply.
Yeah. It's not actually in one of these places. It could be the closest one to these to where you live.
Exactly. So as Brian said, there are 4 main schools, and basically it's a little negotiable about the school. So you would pick the one that's probably closer to where you live, and then you're going to probably have to go to another one, and that can be negotiated between you and the client at that stage.
Yep. Editor test content specialist in Shinjuku.
Yep. So this position, it's also been up for a while, but please don't panic because it's up because the starting time for this position is ideally September. However, if the client has said if they do have a really good candidate that meets their spec and they quite like, they can start earlier. But the scheduled date tentatively is for September. So this is a great position, I think, for jets as well.
It's starting at like 4 million.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly right. If you are a jet, you've probably become aware that the jet salary and the real world salary is sometimes a little bit different. So this is a good job if you want to maintain that jet life. Yeah. So please apply.
20,000 a month for lunch included.
I know.
I've never seen anywhere like that.
I know. Think of the yakitoris. Think of the nikuman you could get with that.
Yeah, think of that. That's a lot of famichiki, guys.
That's a lot of famichiki, exactly. Oh, we should do a mukbang? We should still do a mukbang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
English conversation instructor Kita Kyushu. Right? This is the big eikaiwa chain.
Yeah. These are all these eikaiwas we recruit for throughout the year.
And Hiroshima as well, beautiful, same place. Mm-hmm. And Okayama, same school. Okayama is a great place as well. You get your Momotaro there.
Get the Momotaro.
And Yamaguchi as well. And Tokushima. And Chiba. And Ibaragi.
Yep.
And Kagawa.
And
Utsunomiya.
Brian, we had this talk before, but if you are interested in eikaiwa, guys, we could almost offer you a bespoke eikaiwa service. We have a lot of eikaiwas on our list, so let us know where you want to work. We can probably find you a position.
Yeah, if you want an ALT or eikaiwa, we can probably hook you up.
Yeah, very easily.
Okay, so those are the jobs on the board today. Make sure that you apply and you share with your friends. Post them on social media. Visit our social media Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And subscribe, share with your friends there, make a comment. So we want to talk about today mental illness and mental health in Japan.
Yeah,
And
good topic.
it's mostly started by Naomi Osaka, who
Mm.
says here she's withdrawn from the French Open about reveals bouts of depression. I
Yeah,
can understand. That's a lot of pressure.
of course. And it's been for those of you guys who are coming into the story, basically it has been an ongoing thing as Naomi Osaka has announced that she's had these bouts of depression since I think it was 2018, and she's been trying to sort of deal with it. And one of the ways that she wanted to deal with it, and she also says that even when she wears the headphones, it's to sort of block it out because she finds a lot of the attention causing anxiety. So the way she decided to deal with it at the French Open was to basically avoid the press conference. And she made, I think it was a post on social media saying that that's what she was going to do. Um, but unfortunately, it is a requirement of the athletes, I believe, to do the press conference. And when she didn't, she was basically fined 15,000 American dollars. And they said, the French Open said, basically, don't do that again. And Naomi Osaka said, well, no, this is serious. And, I'm going to withdraw. And I think also, it says maybe in the article there, Brian, she's taking a break as well. It's not just leaving the French
Yeah.
Open. She's having a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, actually, she said she's going to take some time away from the court now.
Take some time
So,
away from the court. Yeah.
so that's one case that's in the news. And another one here is Japanese actress Kyoko Fukada
Kyoko
was
Fukada.
diagnosed
Yeah.
with adjustment disorder.
Yeah. So, she's very well known in the TV circuit here in Japan. She's been in a lot of TV dramas. I think you even said, Brian, was she in Ring 2?
She was in
Was that
Ring 2. She
Ring
was
2?
the high school girl that gives the guy the video and makes him
Well,
promise he'll watch it.
there you
And
go.
then she's killed and she comes back as a ghost.
Spoilers there, Brian. Spoilers.
Well, not all of it. Not all
Yeah,
of it.
well, but speaking of horror, quick segue. Speaking of horror, we do have a blog article about horror movies in
Yep.
Japan. So if you want to check that out, you can go there. We also have a blog article, by chance as well on mental health in Japan. So if you would like to sort of read about that, there's a few resources there as well. You can check that out too. So yeah, they were the two big ones. But there's you were saying, Brian, that you found some more as well, right?
Yeah, actually, she was having adjustment disorder, which it says here in this article, Empress Masako also was having adjustment disorder. Adjustment disorder is acute stress kind of thing. It's not exactly the same as depression, but it's like there's a stressor and then you don't adapt well to it, and then you have depression-like issues, I would say, symptoms, right? I'm not exactly clear clinically about what it is, but it's not an uncommon thing from
No.
what I hear. And another one that I just saw doing some research for this is the group Little Glee Monster, who's here. I've just brought them up on the screen. They're a young girl group, and they're very famous for commercial jingles, and they sing in a kind of glee vocal style, like chorus style. Very popular. And so their one member, Serina, who's here in the middle, she announced she's been out. She hasn't been participating with the group for a while, and she announced that she has bipolar disorder and ADHD. That's really shocking for me here to see someone announce that they had both bipolar disorder and ADHD. I think it's the first time I've ever seen someone mention bipolar disorder. Like
Yeah.
in the new, someone who was an entertainer mentioning it in the news publicly. Yeah, I mean, in the past, there's been people who had depression or stress or adjustment disorder or what's the other one? Panic disorder, anxiety, something
Mm.
like that, and they had to take a break and they came back, right? And but you see someone say, "Well, yeah, bipolar and ADHD." That's really heavy, actually, but she has a pretty good message. I
Yeah.
thought she said here, "Don't be ashamed. Uh, be yourself at any time. If I could save someone else for a second or even a day, I decided to announce it with that feeling."
Mm.
So she's very positive about it. It might reflect a changing attitude.
I think so. And I mean, I think that that's a good place to maybe sort of, conclude our this talk is exactly that. That we've listed some of the resources, guys, in our blog article with mental health in Japan. But more than that, there is a lot of help in Japan, and there's some actually. It's probably a topic we'll talk about in another video or an article. But there's a lot of support. Some in some cases some fiscal support that's also available if you
Yeah,
are sort of handling with these things. And it can be a little bit hard as a foreigner to immediately navigate through that,
right.
but it is there. And if anything, these cases are sort of showing that mental health, although slowly, is slowly becoming more accepted in Japanese mainstream media, and that's going to be that's always a good thing. So
Right.
so yeah, exactly that. Very common. You're not alone. Lots of support. Let's sort of let's help you get there if you're dealing with that. But it is there, and
Yes.
if anything,
So,
um, I did see a comment just quickly, Brian, that
Yeah.
looks like it's disappeared. There was a comment asking about I want to apply to a teaching position in Yokohama, but I don't have any teaching experience. What should I do? My advice would be to just apply anyway. These teaching positions that we have tend to be entry level roles. So whilst
Right.
experience is, preferred, it's not necessary unless it's specified that it is. So mental health, I would say still apply. And if you are seriously looking at being a teacher long term in Japan and you don't have any experience, and maybe you're out of season or you just can't get that entry foot in the door,
Right.
then there's always things like TEFL or TESOL, those sorts of courses you can do online to get that, and maybe that might help you get in the door. But the other bit of advice I would just say is the big recruiting season for teaching in Japan is basically between January and March. So, you know, that would be the time that you would probably find the most success in applying because there's a massive demand for teachers throughout
Yeah.
Japan. Yep.
So I see here, Raya Bionis says thank you. Well, thank you,
You're
Raya.
welcome. You're welcome, Raya. Best of luck with your teaching journey. And yeah, if
Yeah.
you want to make an application, we're happy to sort of help you with that.
Yeah. Definitely make sure you make an application, linkjapancareers.net, and, like and share, and also visit us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever we are, and like
Soon
and
to be
subscribe there
line.
too.
Soon to be line.
Yeah,
We're going to
soon to be
appear in
line.
line.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, guys, that's it for this week. Make sure that you visit our page, linkjapancareers.net, check out our jobs and apply for them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have anything else, drop us a line. You can contact us from our page or here on our Facebook page, or go to our homepage and drop a message in the chat, and we'll get in touch with you. All right.
Sure, sure.
All right. Have a good one, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.
Take care, guys. See ya.